This is the first video lecture in a series on trigonometry. For more information about the series, please see the introduction video, TR-00, linked in the description. Otherwise, here we go. TR-01, Introduction to Angles. Given a point and two rays that originate from the point, an angle is the rotational separation between the rays. The parts of an angle are the initial side, which is one of the rays, the vertex, which is the point where the rays intersect, and the terminal side, which is the other ray. The accepted definition of angle uses the word ray, but in actual practice, the sides of an angle can be lines, line segments, rays, or vectors. The size of the angle depends on the rotational distance between the rays. Small angles have narrow separation, larger angles have wider separation. We'll cover angle measurements in degrees in video TR-04. To evaluate angles, we place them in standard position on a Cartesian coordinate system. Standard position means the initial side is lined up on the positive x-axis. The vertex is placed at the origin of the coordinate system, and the terminal side is positioned to denote the size of the angle. In later videos, when we investigate angles to measure their characteristics, we'll put them in standard position, so please know what this means. By convention, angles are measured so that counterclockwise rotations are considered positive, and clockwise rotations are negative. So positive angles rotate up towards quadrant 1, and negative angles rotate down towards quadrant 4. As a very quick review, the quadrants are labeled like this: positive or negative x and y coordinates as shown. This is geometry review and should be familiar to you. Knowing the quadrants and their coordinate signs will be important later in the series. Now we'll cover three ways to label angles. Let's consider two intersecting lines, AB and QR, labeling their intersection point O. Points are labeled with uppercase Latin or English letters. Two intersecting lines create four angles, and we can label each using 3 points with this angle symbol. First, we choose a point on one of the sides, then the vertex point, and finally a point on the other side. We read this as angle BOR. The vertex is always the middle letter in the expression. Two quick comments. First, the order of the outside points doesn't matter. Angle BOR is the same as angle ROB. Clockwise versus counterclockwise rotation to denote negative and positive angles is usually considered only when combining or taking the difference between two angles. A single reference to an angle is considered positive, so you don't have to be careful to express the sides in any particular order. Second, if there are multiple points labeled on a ray, like this, it doesn't matter which one you choose to put in the angle label. Just choose a point on one ray, the vertex point, and a point on the other ray to clearly identify an angle. Here are the other angles at this intersection. When there's only one angle at a vertex, the angle can be labeled with the vertex points label like this. Angle O is the angle at point O. There's no confusion since there's only one angle. This is especially common with triangles, whose angle labels simply correspond to the vertices of the triangle. The angles can share the same name as their vertex point because there's no ambiguity. Points ABC, angles ABC. Finally, and perhaps most commonly, angles can simply be given a lowercase Greek letter as a label. In this case, there's no need to reference any points at all. The Greek letters alpha, beta, gamma, and especially theta are often used to denote angles. I'll usually use theta, but please know that other Greek letters can also be used. We just put the label near the vertex. The goal when labeling angles is to be unambiguous. It's common to draw small arcs near the vertex of angles between the sides to emphasize the reference to an angle. These arcs are especially useful if there are multiple angles at a vertex or overlapping angles. To distinguish between nearby angles, the small arcs can have different number of closely spaced arcs or arcs of slightly different distance from the vertex. Again, the objective is not to follow prescribed rules, but rather to be as clear as possible for your audience. Clarity is the goal when labeling angles. In this video, I'll usually label angles with green arcs and shade them. On a diagram where two angles have the same measure, you might see tick marks on the angle's arcs. By convention, angles with the same number of tick marks are the same size. You'll also see this convention on line segments, 1, 2, or sometimes 3 tick marks. It's a common convention that lines or angles with the same number of tick marks have the same measure, even when the actual measure isn't known or given. Angles can be added and subtracted arithmetically and graphically. For example, a 70-degree angle plus a 40-degree angle is a 110-degree angle by adding arithmetically. And we can see the same result graphically. A 40-degree angle plus a 70-degree angle is indeed a 110-degree angle. And subtracting angles is just as straightforward. Graphically, 40 degrees minus 70 degrees is 40 degrees in the positive counterclockwise direction plus 70 degrees in the negative clockwise direction, yielding an angle of negative 30 degrees. That's the end of TR-01. For extra practice drills, see video TR-01X. In the next video, TR-02, we'll cover different types of angles.